Welcome to Young Entrepreneurs, proudly brought to you by the Campus Magazine. I'm your host, Irene. Now, this week on Young Entrepreneurs, I'm joined by an author, a student of Makerere University, goes by the name Davis Ssenoga. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Irene.
Yes, Davis, tell me more about yourself.
My name is Davis Ssenoga, a student at Makerere University,
Yes.
pursuing my bachelor Records and Archives Management under the East African School of Library and Information Science, also under the College of Computing and Information Science.
Yes. Wow. So, Davis, can you enlighten me more about authorship?
Authorship is a broad topic or an aspect that entails very many people and very many broad works. Authorship involves writing from the first stage of writing,
Yes.
composing, putting dreams into reality. We imagine as writers, you imagine something and put it into writing.
Yes.
And it involves publication,
Research.
very many things.
Very hectic work.
Hectic indeed,
Oh,
but doable. If you set your mind to the tune, everything can be achievable.
okay, that is so wonderful. I'm going to go to how did you start? How did you start this writing career? Did it just come out recently, or you've been doing it for a while?
I've been doing it for a while. Actually, it didn't just pop up, but way back, I think the instincts came in while in secondary level. So from there, I started writing drafts, writing small poems, trying out songs. So from there, I saw that, oh yeah, maybe I can do something. So when I went to A level, that is St. Louis College, Tovu,
Yes.
I had to do literature.
Wow.
So that boosted me a lot. And from A level, when I came to Makerere University, that's where I think everything boomed up. When I got in touch with Pamela, Mary, so that's when we started up and joined up the professional writing.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. So was writing really connected with what you're studying? Sometimes people think that to be an author or a writer, you must write something related to what you're studying or become it.
No, not at all. To a greater extent, it was a bit connected because I studied from the East African School of Library and Information Science.
Okay.
But I do records and archives management. So it was not in any way related to records and archives management. Yeah, it was just a talent that came up, and being able to write about anything that can change the world, anything that can, So it's not all about a connection to what I'm studying. It's a talent.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, writing is a talent because it requires a lot of input and research, and many people really admire writers. Now, the aspects of writing. Let's go now. We're diving into your book, this wonderful piece of art. When I saw this title, if we were to end AIDS in Africa, we need to infect our own doctors. And what came to mind is, are we talking about technology to get maybe vaccine to end AIDS, or we are trying to advance in our thinking capacity, just like His Excellency these days is giving some hand in advancing the doctors, the technocrats of the nation. So, I want our viewers to know, when you wrote this book, expand on the title in relation to what is inside.
Thank you. Basically, this book is about awakening and steering innovation in the African continent. The title is symbolic and indirect. The title is, if we are to end AIDS in Africa,
Yes.
we need to infect our own doctors. The book is to awaken and steer innovation to Africa, which is a sleeping giant. AIDS is just like a problem Africa is facing. It can be poverty, there can be other diseases. So, in the fact that Africa is sleeping, if we are to infect our own doctors with this virus, maybe we shall get people who are going to research day and night on pressure so that they can put to use their minds and good brains in order to come up with a vaccine. So even if it is poverty, let's say, if we are to end poverty in Africa, we maybe like Africa, do we just need to first get poor in order to fight, in order to get those spaces to fight poverty? So it's in the same way. The book is entirely about innovation, research, innovation in the African continent, awakening the African child to innovation.
Yes. It brings me to yet another question. So what is your source of inspiration to write, in particular to write this book, which is related to technology? Yet what you're studying actually is record management. Writing actually, it is part of record management, because it means you will be a very good record manager.
Exactly.
But how can we link it to the technical bit?
First and foremost, I'm at the School of Library and Information Science, but under the College of Computing and Information Science.
Okay.
So that's where the technology comes in.
Okay.
The inspiration, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're at courses. And by the way, I was a leader at courses for 2 years, for 2 tenures. The first one, I was the organizing secretary of the students' cabinet, and the second tenure was the IGG. Okay. So with that, we could usher in freshers orientation. So when I was giving speeches, I could say that, yes, young gentlemen and ladies, you come into the College of Computing and Information Science. Yes. You're studying bachelors of the Library and Information Science, Records and Archives Management, Computer Science, Information Systems, Software Engineering. Are you going to just come to campus, pass through courses and go without developing any system, without developing any app, without developing any tangible project? So with that was the first inspiration I got to put down into writing something that can inspire an African child and awaken the giant in our souls as Africans.
Wow, that is quite interesting. Most people do join other companies, and they do get publishers for their work, and sometimes it is quite hectic for a publisher to actually accept your work for publication. Can you enlighten me more? Is this book like under a private publication, or it is assigned to maybe some publication company?
Basically, of course, the book is under private publication, but then partly I hired my own editors. Okay. Yes, so I didn't go to the publish. Sometimes publishing is as you said, hectic. It's a hectic process. Sometimes you don't get full rights on your work.
Yes.
And those are the things we do study in my course, that is Records and Archives Management.
Wow.
Since it's under the School of Library, East African School of Library.
Wow.
So definitely the publication, the editors, like my very lecturers passed through the book and edited it. So that's how it came up perfect.
Okay, that's wonderful. So tell me more about the private company that actually published this book.
The private company is called Chintu Press. located in Mengo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's located in Mengo. And actually, I got, as a young writer, there are very many things you need, but one of them is inspiration and basically advice. Yes, you may have a talent to write, but then if you have wrong advisors, all people are going to manipulate you, then your career might end at a young stage.
That's true.
Yes, but I want to thank Chintu Press with the advice they gave me, with all the counseling, and yes, we came up with this.
Okay. I see on the book, much as you're talking about the Chintu Press, I do see Petals D authorship company. What is it?
Petals D is a company that we started. P and D are basically the founders and the co-founder. So it's Pamela Tells Davis.
Okay.
Yes. So Pamela, I met Pamela at campus.
Okay.
Yes. So we teamed up. She's my good friend. We are too close. So we came up with this company. Through writing, we inspired ourselves and started up this company.
Yes.
Exactly. And maybe a brief background on how we met. We were put in the same group at campus. So me and her were in the same discussion group. So when we were put in the same discussion group, first of all, when we were put in that group, that discussion group, it was generated by Mweli. So when it was generated by Mweli, we had started discussing a few things about us, and the groups were reshuffled. So when they were reshuffled, we missed that chance of connecting more. But then later, when another lecturer reshuffled and put us in groups, definitely we found ourselves by fate that we are also in the same discussion group. So when we were in the same discussion group, that's when we started off discussing about stories, writing, and stuff. So when you have advice from the lecturers, when they get to know your story, your inspiration story, of course they are there to support. So we got advice from our lecturers and supported us to come up with this company.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we are going for a short break. When we come back, you're going to tell us more on where to get your book. Welcome back to Young Entrepreneurs, proudly brought to you by the Campus Magazine. You're still with Davis and Irene on Young Entrepreneurs. Let's pick up from where we stopped, Davis. Tell me more about the poetry that you're organizing at the auditorium.
Yes, about the poetry, as I told you before, we also do poetry. And actually, that poetry was brought in by, it was awakened through some poetry show. Not necessarily a poetry show, but it was a talent show at Makerere University.
Okay.
So I said, why don't I try out this time round?
Yes.
Try out poetry for the first time. I was writing poems, but I couldn't act. I hadn't got any platform. So when I got that platform, I said, why don't I seize this opportunity? And it was a competition. And actually the winner was winning $1 million shillings. So we went into that. I was with another poet still in Petals D.
Yes.
She's a lady. And actually we were the third. We were the third runners up.
Wow.
That is second runners up. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes.
That is a big step.
So yeah, when we won that money, that was a big kind of encouragement.
Yes.
So it pushed us up and we said we need to start our house of poets.
Exactly.
So with that, we are organizing our poetry show.
Yes.
And it's going to take place in the CTF2 auditorium, Makerere University. It will start at exactly 1 p.m. That is 4th November.
And how much are the tickets going for?
The tickets are going to be low. it's going to be like
Like
an offer.
we're looking at how
That
much.
is 10K.
Mm.
Reserved seating, then random seating is 5K.
Okay.
Yes.
Davis, concerning your show, could you do you have like sponsorship for your show, or it is like a one man's work?
It's not a one man's work.
Yes.
Of course, we have support people who love our work.
Yes.
So the first supporter is a honorable member of parliament, and it's Honorable Katabazi Francis.
Wow.
Representing Kalongo East.
Wow,
so
that is great.
Yes, that is the first man I have to mention.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yes.
So try to link me up. Your poetry, is it going to be the first time, or you've been doing it?
I've been doing it, but under different houses of poets, and also during competitions. So this time around, it's our own show.
Okay.
Yes, we are opening up to the world.
Okay. I want to understand something. As a young, innovative, creative individual, how do you get the money to invest in authorship, in organizing the show? Where does the funds come from?
The first thing I'll talk about is creating networks and connection. That is the first thing. Yes. So when I came to campus, I understood the assignment. So what I did, I first created connection. Yes. The first network was, of course, my circle of friends. Second network was my classmates. Yes. Now, when I became a leader, when I became an IGG, it was a super boost to increase my network. Wow. Further to the college and to the university. You know, when you're a leader, you access various offices. Yes. And people support you. So when you ask my source of cash, I will say donations will be the first one. Gifts and donations. Lecturers. I remember when I was launching this book, preparing for our launch, the principal gifted me with 100,000. Yeah, so that was a super boost. So that is the first set of money flow. That's the source. Yes. And second of all, I also started some business that's not into writing. Yes. Yeah, and first, you know, when you create a brand, you get people who support you, people who love your brand. Exactly. So anything you produce with that brand, people do buy. So we made t-shirts and also wristbands with our PTLD
That is
brand.
Being very creative.
Very creative. And also, since in my course, we were me and Pamela, so people perceive that, yes, oh, this is a loving couple, so we need to support. And you know, so everything we
do
produce
together, people perceive it as we must support the couple.
Maybe perceiving is a bit harsh. I would say maybe it might be the reality. Yeah. But, oh yeah.
Okay, that is a good confirmation. Then, it's quite interesting because these days the young innovative individuals, especially now, like the students like you, Davis, you've come on board. What they usually experience is like lack of funds to start up. And in the middle there, sometimes they get caught up with so many problems. Have you found like problems in the middle there in publishing your works?
Yes, indeed. I've gotten very many problems. To one extent that sometime I never had transport to pick my books from the publishing. So I had to walk. By the time I stay in Rubaga. And the publishing house is in Mango. So I had to trek. To that area. But those hardships, you have to be ready for them and face them and find ways of how you're going to overcome them so that they don't come back. By that, you have to get into that selling aspect. Yes. Selling your works.
Okay, that brings me up to our next discussion. When I look at this book, it is put together so well in that I picture it like, how much would it go for?
It goes for 20,000
20,000 shillings. And if we want, you can tell our viewers, if someone wants to read this incredible book, where would they get you from?
First of all, with the technological world, the growing world in technology,
Yes.
I will first start with our social media platforms. So from there, you can order for books. That is Peters D1, Twitter, Facebook still Peters D1, Instagram Peters D1, email. Some people order through email, petersd39@gmail.com.
Yes.
Then from there, our websites that have our books. Smashwords, that is www.smashwords.com. So from there you can access our book. Yes.
Okay. So far, like, could you estimate maybe the numbers you've sold? Because I'm picturing like you've grabbed some finance already.
Yeah. Yes. Because I have to. Because the first goal of writing should be selling.
Yes.
Not writing.
Of course, you need to sell the information outside there.
Yes. So I will go back to the Thanksgiving. I will thank Honorable Katabazi Francis once more for ushering me into the writing. Okay, not writing, but ushering me into the marketing world. On our launch, our book launch, he was the chief guest.
Wow.
So with that, we managed to sell over 40 books.
Wow. On the launch.
On the launch.
Now, that is so good.
Yes.
For the fact that you did in the beginning clarify that this is the first publication, if I did get you clearly.
Yes.
So selling 40 during the launch, I must recommend you. It was well done. I want to link something here. As a young, innovative entrepreneur, where do you see yourself going, both in publishing as an author and the business part of it?
Where I see myself as an author, I'm seeing myself as a person who is going to write more books in every sector.
Yes.
Books that are going to sell all over the world. I want to term myself as the best-selling author, and I want to change lives of other young writers that are in Africa, because they do have the talent, they do have the brains, but maybe they will need some organization that will try to bring them together.
Probably they will have to join your company.
Exactly.
So that you
just
can...
like the Peters D Poetry Room,
yes,
our house of poets.
Yes.
So we have poets who are currently from the university joining us to do poetry and get a message to the world. Exactly. Other than that, I have Pastor Makelo. I'm a records officer.
Wow.
So definitely I will have to get a job in records. Yes, in an organizational hospital, bank and work, so that will also be a source of income apart from this writing. Then also we, in conjunction with Pamela, we created the Vimela Enterprises.
Wow.
And so
I love the sound of the name.
Wow.
Vimela.
Wow. Yeah. So with that, we shall be generating funds. Yeah, it's a steady source of income for us. Yeah.
Okay, that is good, because writing alone may not put food on the table in Uganda, though I am glad that you are selling copies right away from the beginning, and I do wish and hope the best for you, Davis, and this lovely piece of writing. What could be your last remarks for those who are watching this show and those who could possibly be the next reader for this book?
Yes, thank you so much. My first message, of course, has to go to the young writers.
Yes.
Young writers who are still imagining. Young writers who are imagining about let it be innovation, writing about love, writing about anything that comes to their mind, politics, I want to tell them to start. Yes, you might have the imagination, the dream, but once you start, everything will go on more than you expect. So the first thing you have to start. When you start, everything will come. But when you stop on dreaming and imagining, nothing will come out. Another message goes out to our readers and our supporters, be it Makerere University, the principals, the vice chancellor, the people who have enabled us organize our shows, the custodians, the deputy vice chancellors, my fellow students, my friends. I want to thank them so much. People who look out for us, people who support us, our poets that are joining us, the new and old poets that are joining our house of poets. I want to thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Davis. Now I understand, me as a writer and an author, I do know it has been hectic work for you, and it still will be hard, but I will say, please continue. Do not stop with the good creative works. And there you have it, from Davis Ssenoga, the author of this great piece of writing. If we want to end AIDS in Africa, we need to infect our own doctors. Do you agree? You will have to find out by reading a copy, by reading the book, so do get yourself a copy. As from us, thank you for joining us in this lovely episode of Young Entrepreneurs, brought to you by the Campus Magazine. Do subscribe to the Campus Magazine YouTube channel to watch this lovely piece of interview with our author here, Davis Ssenoga. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a privilege to have you on Young Entrepreneurs. Thank you, sir. So from me, your host, Irene, till next time, bye.